It's a brand new day, motherfucker. Last night, this bit is higher than this bit, and the splitter blade needs to be flat, or if anything, on a slight sort of decline. Pointing upwards is just not a good idea. It will just create lift at the front end and make it all horrid. So at the front, we're measuring 120 mil to the bottom of the air dam, and here we're at about 90 mil. So we need to trim off that sort of amount off the dam itself, so it'd be nice and flat for the splitter blade to sit against. So all I'm going to do is, from the front, as soon as I start going over 120 mil, I'm going to make marks so I know exactly how much I need to trim off. Now I'm going to mark it on the bottom half of the dam, but I'm going to trim it off of the top half so it pulls the bottom line up, and it should hopefully square this off a bit because it's kind of flared out a little bit. So let's mark this up and we'll cut one side and see how it looks, and then we'll get on with the other side. This is a bit awkward being left-handed. All the besties are lefties. Just going to put as many marks in as I can just so I've got a nice sort of accurate line. Right, that should do it. Right, that's the air dam done. It sits nice and level now, so we can crack on with the splitter blade. So this is the stuff that I've got to make the splitter blade. It's called dye bond. I think I showed you it before, but you've got about 1 millimetre of aluminium, not even that much, that sandwiches a sort of light ABS plastic. It's lightweight, it's rigid, and it should make a good splitter blade, but that's to be seen yet. Other uses or other materials you can use is plyboard, which is the most common stuff. It's cheap, easy to get hold of. This is a 6 mil thick stuff, which I like to buy second hand. It's 250 quid a sheet of this, full price. I paid £70 just for this sheet, whereas plywood, you get a sheet 8 foot by 4 foot sheet like this for about 20-30 quid at the most. So it's not a cheap option, but hopefully it'll be a lightweight and rigid option. And we'll see how it turns out really. If it's not rigid enough, then so be it. I can use it for something else, and I'll buy some plywood in. But we can at least get a template out of this for starters. Alright, so here's the bump obviously just sat on top of the dye bond. It's pretty much how it's going to sit when it's all built. You want to have about a 70 mil frontage off the front of the air dam itself. So I'm just going to trace out 70 mil all the way around, and I'll sort of close it in around the edges, probably just to sit in line with the sort of outside edges of the actual bumper itself. So I'll trace out 70 mil, and then we'll taper it in like I said. Bit disappointed with the BYC air dam. It's just simply not deep enough. I've mounted this. I'll quickly throw it on the car, but I mounted this as far low, as far down as it can go on the bumper. It just simply sits too high. Give you a rough idea there. So, if I was to raise it up to that level to meet that BYC air dam, you're going to negate any sort of downforce unless I really lower the car, which I can't do now. I'm already on the limit of rubbing tyres on the corners, and I'd lose that manifold clearance, which I really need. I don't want to have to cut out a hole in the splitter blade itself for the manifold, because again it's just going to have a negative effect on the airflow going underneath. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get some aluminium bridge the gap for now. Or I may even just make a whole new thing out of alley, but I'm probably going to have to do 2 halves, if not 3 pieces, which is going to be a little bit rubbish, but I can just rivet it together. It should look fine. Yeah, just so I can get this, I want to get this job finished. Quick look at the actual mounts themselves as well. Hope you can see them there okay. Yeah, loads of adjustability. Nice flat, nice large flat surface area to hold the splitter nice and rigid. The only concern I have is how strong it is, as in I don't want it being too strong, and if I come off the track it's going to tear the whole car up. But to be honest, you know, this is aluminium, so I'd like to think that would rip first. I may use aluminium bolts here, so they would just simply shear off. But will they be strong enough to hold the amount of sort of downforce effect that we're going to have anyway? So lots of things to think about. Alright, so I dug out some aluminium. I didn't have a sheet wide enough to cover the whole area, so I made 2 4-inch strips. I'm going to rivet them together to make my piece, and then I'll just take a template off of this shitty air dam. Yeah, so all I've done is cut the strips, I've drilled some holes ready for the rivets, and I've just brushed this up. I quite like it being brushed. I might leave it, but we'll see how it looks. Or I'll probably just paint it black. We'll see how it turns out. So what I'm going to do now is get this side brushed and cleaned up, rivet it together, and then I can use the template. Now that's an air dam. Oh, yes, so much better. That looks so much better. And that is going to be so much better. I'm going to adjust the splitter up just so it fits nice, but otherwise, look at that. I took 10 mil out of the dam. Not man enough to run a dam that deep. So yeah, I took 10 mil out and excuse me, I'm just laying some paint down now. So once they're painted, I can get them fitted up, painted and dry. Then I've just got to sort out the rear mounts. I'll have to put it on the ramps, I think, and see how that's going to work. So in between painting, I'm just having a quick tidy up, and I'm going to look at fitting these sort of fog light blanks. They go in here. Yeah. Don't know really. Just well, I've got them. Might as well fit them. Just means I lose this. I quite like having this sort of Jay's Racing style piece. Great for the brakes and the cooling. Running ducting for the brakes, but yeah, you can't seem to find them for this side. You can get the Teguiwa style or the smaller style ones. I don't really like them. I think I'm just going to run brake ducting through the air dam now, which should be pretty good. Or like I said, the knucker ducts coming up through the splitter blade, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Alright guys, that's me done. That is the splitter done. Let's give you a little close up. It's still a bit wet in the paint, but I'm running out of time. I ain't got time to hang around and watch paint dry. So yeah, all done. I've still got to secure the rear of the splitter because it's sort of hanging down a bit. Once I've done that, I can level it all out and get it set how I want it and mark out so I can just throw it on and it'll be in the right place. That's going to be me for a few weeks now, so yeah, the next thing that I'll be doing is hopefully a track day in December. But that's me, so hope you enjoyed it. That's the splitter done. I'm really happy with it actually, it looks pretty sweet. So that's that. Right, cheers guys, I'll see you later.